Hey, True Believers, Englentine here. Welcome to another episode of Comic Book Origins, where we take a look at the first appearance of any comic book superhero and or villain. In this case, we are talking about the big red cheese himself, the original Captain Marvel, Shazam. Created in '39, but he didn't see publishing until 1940 in Whiz Comics #2. Why Whiz Comics #2 and not #1? Well, because Whiz Comics #1 is actually an ash can, which works as kind of an advertisement comic book. Now, based on sales, Captain Marvel was the most popular superhero of the 1940s. Yes, outselling even Superman, who, as you know, was huge at the time and forever amen. That, of course, made Fawcett want to expand into the Marvel family. By all means, check out the comic book origins I did for Mary Marvel and Captain Marvel Jr., as well as making Captain Marvel the very first superhero to make it to the big screen in Republic's Serial Adventures of Captain Marvel with Tom Tyler. Yes, I always get that. Is it Tom or Tim? Tom Tyler. I actually saw this. This is a very entertaining serial, and I could highly recommend it. Check it out. You might be able to find it on YouTube, as a matter of fact, but it's definitely worth watching. Now, Fawcett did end publications of Captain Marvel in about 1953 because of the DC Fawcett copyright infringement suit. Now, I could go into that here, but it would make this video about 45 minutes to an hour long. That's a video unto itself. So, instead of doing that, without further ado, let's jump into the first appearance of Captain Marvel, Whiz Comics #2. As we start with the cover, I like the fact that Whiz Comics has the motion lines going through. I really think it works for the name. The rest of it, however, I'm pretty sure they meant to do this. As much as Captain Marvel was derivative of Superman, this is very derivative of Action Comics #1. Of course, the big difference is Superman is crashing an empty car into a rock right here while the bad guys roll away, and in this case, Captain Marvel's throwing the car into a building, bad guys in it and all. That one dude looks like he just smashed his face right into the... He's dead. Those are two dead men right there. And as far as Captain Marvel himself, I have to say I really do like the original kind of militaristic style Captain Marvel outfit with the flap, the button-up flap on the shoulder and everything. I've always liked that version better. Captain Marvel! Whiz Comics proudly presents the world's mightiest man, powerful champion of justice, relentless enemy of evil, Captain Marvel. Night in the city. Papers. Subway. Boy. Guy with umbrella. Guy about to walk into the wall. Look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament. A dark and shady stranger walks up to boy selling papers. Paper, sir? Why aren't you home in bed, son? I have no home, sir. I sleep in the subway station. It's warm there. Follow me.
How about no?
But boy selling papers ignores the stranger danger vibe that he should be getting from this creepy figure. Where are we going? Wait and see. Run, kid. Just run. Suddenly, a strange subway car with headlights gleaming like a dragon's eyes roars into the station and stops. No one is driving it. Have no fear. Everything has been arranged. The moment its passengers are seated, the car hurtles through the pitch-black tunnel at tremendous speeds. The car is stopped at the end of the line. The boy and his phantom companion step out onto a platform resembling the mouth of a weird subterranean cavern.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Mustering his courage, the boy enters an ancient underground hall, carved out of solid rock, grotesquely lighted by flaring torches, and we see him passing by the 7 deadly enemies of man: pride, envy, greed, hatred, selfishness, laziness, and injustice. And of course, injustice is in place of lust. I'm pretty sure they couldn't put that in a 1940s comic book, although it is pre-code, so maybe they could have gotten away with it. But it is aimed at kids. And of course, hatred is in place of anger. And I'm not mad at that because, you know, anger is useful. It's not really like a deadly sin. Welcome, Billy Batson. An old man sitting on a marble throne at the far end of a cavern speaks as they approach. This is very weird to me because this is something that I've noticed in the Captain Marvel books. They put the narration that should be at the top of the panel on the bottom. So it should be going, an old man sitting on a marble throne at the far end of the cavern speaks as they approach. Welcome, Billy Batson. It's just kind of backwards. Oh, and by the way, this is the very first time he is named. Billy asks the old man how he knows his name. The old man says, I know everything. I am, and a huge black cloud, a blinding lightning flash, a deafening peal of thunder form out of nowhere as the old man speaks his name, Shazam! And we see it crash, the wind's blowing the whole 9 yards. And a big old sign pops up behind Shazam with the acronym. Solomon, wisdom, Hercules, strength, Atlas, stamina, Zeus, power, Achilles, courage, Mercury, speed. For 3,000 years, I have used wisdom, strength, stamina, power, courage, and speed the gods have given me to battle the forces of evil, which every day threaten to extinguish man from the face of the earth. And once again, the narration is down below. This time they forgot the box. It's like his beard is talking to him. Once again, Shazam speaks. 3,000 years? Yes, son, and during that time I have seen everything known, everything that happened throughout the world from the highest to the lowest. The Historama. And then he basically gives us all of the information that Billy really would have known because he's old enough to have understood what happened to him. And he basically talks about how his uncle should have been taking care of him, but he just wanted his money, so he took it and then kicked Billy to the curb. There's an entire panel taken up by just showing us a rock directly above Shazam's head. A massive granite block weighing tons hangs from a slender frayed thread. If the thread broke, the granite would crush the old man to powder, and the thread is almost worn through. And he says, all my life I have fought injustice and cruelty, but I am old now. My time is almost up. You shall be my successor merely by speaking my name. You could become the strongest, mightiest man in the world, Captain Marvel. Speak my name. And of course, Billy does. As Billy speaks the magic word, he becomes Captain Marvel. Hey, just like Shazam said, that's awesome. Captain Marvel, I salute you. Henceforth it shall be your sacred duty to defend the poor and helpless, right wrongs, and crush evil everywhere. And Billy says, yes, sire. So the wizard Shazam tells Captain Marvel that if he ever wants to become Billy Batson, just speak my name. So Captain Marvel says, Shazam! Through the blinding flash of the lightning bolt, Captain Marvel sees the granite block falling on Shazam. What? The man can't come down to Disney, enjoy Florida like the rest of the old folks? He's like, oh, okay, I'm too old to fight crime, and therefore he must be killed? I'm finding that a bit unfair, man, seriously. So Billy finds himself back outside the subway, selling newspapers all over again, and he's thinking it's all a dream. And then the next morning, he's once again selling newspapers with a headline that reads, Maniac Scientist Threatens U.S. Radio System, Demands 500,000, Air Officials Alarmed. Two kind of shady-looking characters walk up to Billy. One of them asks for a paper. The other says, gonna read about the boss, huh? And then he's quickly shut up. Assuming that this boss can be no one else but the Phantom Scientist, he decides to follow the shady-looking characters. Trailing the two men, Billy watches them enter the swanky Sky Tower apartments. And as Billy walks out, go on, kid, beat it. You can't sell newspapers in here. Now, here's the reason why you have to put the narrative boxes on the top. Why are you putting them on the bottom? Because the dialogue in the next panel is, I've got to see Mr. Morris. It's important. He's in a completely different building. There's no transition here, except for after you read the dialogue, you get, unable to trail the strange men to their apartment, Billy calls on Sterling Morris, Radiohead. I guess he's a creep. I'm here all week, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to tip your waitresses. So the man decides he's going to stop Billy from going in to see the Radiohead, but Billy is undeterred, and he forces his way into the office to tell the guy, hey, look, I've got something to say about the Phantom Scientist. So Billy tells Radiohead about how he followed the bad guys into Sky Tower. Now the Radiohead listens, but then he's like, wait a second, Sky Tower apartments? Nonsense, boy. Why don't you tell me he lives at City Hall or the Capitol at Washington? And he doesn't quite buy the fact that somebody who lives in a rich apartment building would be trying to extort money, because why would they need the money? So Billy decides to basically kind of give a challenge, says, all right, I'll go, but if I find Phantom's laboratory, will you give me a job as a radio announcer? And of course, not believing anything's going to come of it, Radiohead says, a job? I'll give you anything you want if you find this madman, and now get out. I can't waste any more time listening to nonsense. Later that night, how am I going to get into the apartment house without being seen? Maybe if I go up in the tower of that office building over there. The office building elevator quickly takes Billy to the observation tower. This is a job for Captain Marvel. Shazam! Captain Marvel leaps from one building to the other, exactly to the window where the bad guys are, as one of them draws a curtain on a huge TV screen. Suddenly, on the television screen appears the face of Savannah, mad scientist, who has threatened to destroy radio unless he is paid $50,000. The fools, they wouldn't pay what I demanded at midnight. We will drive every radio station from the air forever. In a few seconds, Savannah's fiendish radio silencer will drive every broadcasting station from the airlines unless Captain Marvel can stop him. So Captain Marvel, crashing through the window, races towards the diabolical machine. With not a second to spare, he smashes the radio silencer into smithereens with a henchman's body. Dude, that guy is definitely in traction, just saying. The other man races for the private elevator and slams the door behind him. His powerful muscles, Marvel pulls the door open, grips the cable in his steel-like hands, and hauls the car back to the penthouse. And then he pops the guy in the back of the head. I like the fact that there's a little stick figure songbird right beneath them. I'm sorry, that's kind of clever. Captain Marvel ties up the henchman and quickly turns his attention to the television set. Well, Savannah, that's the end of your radio silencer. But not the end of me. We will meet again, Captain Marvel. Yes, Savannah, we will meet again, and when we do, you will be behind prison walls. Or dead! And then he breaks out, damn! Captain Marvel just threatened to kill him. He's like a kid. Well, actually, here they're giving him the actual wisdom of Solomon. Well, I guess that ought to hold our friend Savannah for a while. And now, Shazam! Captain Marvel speaks the magic word. As Billy Batson, he calls Radiohead to come over and check out the situation, showing him the radio silencer and everything, telling him, please don't tell anybody who I am because I still have to capture Dr. Savannah. Oh, and about that job. And even though, of course, Billy's like 14 years old, Radiohead says, yes, you have the job of radio news reporter. You gotta love 1940s child labor laws. Of course, he's excited for the job, so he says, Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter. Oh, whoops, sorry, wrong book. Billy Batson, radio reporter. Boy, oh boy. Here's where we go to town, me and... You and who else, son? Nobody, sir. Just me and the microphone. That's all, sir. Just me and Mike. Billy almost let the cat out of the bag that time. Don't fail to be on hand next month when he and Captain Marvel go to town. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Whiz Comics #2, the first appearance of Captain Marvel, Shazam. What did you think? I'll tell you what I thought. I thought this was a really good story. I really do like the Fawcett comics so far. The covers are good. The interiors are okay. Now, this, I got to admit, sometimes the art was a little bit off. Billy Batson really does look cartoonish in here a bit compared to the other characters. Also, I really wish they would put the narrative balloons above the dialogue, because often you do have, hey, how are you doing, guy at the new building I'm at? And then it would say, and Billy's now talking to the guy at the new building he's at. So that was kind of weird, and I wish they would fix that. But considering I've read ahead, I know they really don't do that. Otherwise, nah, this is a very good book with just enough Golden Age silliness to get us through. So I've received some DMs and some emails saying I didn't put a hint in the last couple of comic book origins. And when I do put hints in, they're way too easy. So I decided to include one this time. And here you go. This is a little hint towards what the next comic book origins is going to be. So down in the comments below, let me know what you think it is. Also, let me know what you thought of the video. Also, the comic book itself. What do you think of Whiz Comics #2? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, of course. That's what YouTube cares about, if they care at all. And seriously, if you like the video, you should be seeing some boxes pop up right about now, so click on one of them. Enjoy another one. And don't forget to go on over to Ko-Fi or to Patreon and drop $1 in the till. It helps keep the lights on, helps keep making videos for you. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.